can't teach what he has in him. It's something that's ingrained in him. He's been like that for his whole life, and you know, that's why you see something special every time you see him fight, every time you see him do an interview. You know, he's just a special person, and he's a part of a special show.
We were excited about you and Floyd. Is that still happening, or is that?
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, it's happening. You think I give that up?
Mike Tyson stepped in front of the cameras and left no room for interpretation. His body, he said, feels like a weapon reforged, not restored, reforged. There is a difference, and Tyson knows it. This is not a man managing decline. This is a man who has located something dangerous inside himself again. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the target he has chosen to aim it at. At a psychological level, this matters to fans because Tyson has always represented controlled chaos. And hearing him speak with this kind of physical confidence reminds the world that the chaos may not be as finished as people assume.
It's me.
You look good. How you feeling physically?
Incredible.
You've been training?
Listen, I was wearing the extra large. It looks like I can wear large now.
Looking good, man. Still looking scary.
Behind closed doors, away from the cameras and the spectacle, Tyson has been in the gym doing the unglamorous work, the repetitions, the corrections, the slow, disciplined refinement that separates serious preparation from performance. Every session is adding a layer of sharpness to a foundation that never fully eroded. This is not a man coasting on reputation. This is a fighter treating the craft with the same respect he did at his peak. Fans understand this distinction instinctively because they know the difference between a fighter preparing to compete and a fighter preparing to appear.
Holy five.
How you doing? Doing good. How you doing? Billy. It's my pleasure, brother. Sir.
Those closest to Tyson were caught off guard. His trainer, a man who measures progress in fractions and controls his reactions professionally, could not conceal his reaction when Tyson moved during a recent sparring session. The speed was there. The leverage behind each strike was there. The technical execution held at full intensity. When the man who knows your limits is surprised by what he sees, that is not a small thing. That is a signal. At a human level, moments like this remind observers that age is not always the final authority on what a fighter can still produce.
Beautiful roll, Mike. Excellent. Excellent.
Complete. Beautiful game. Complete. There's nothing to say. You're complete.
Exactly. Just enough. Beautiful roll, Mike. Excellent roll. Excellent defense, champ. This is the perfect head position. This we talk about it. 40 seconds.
You are winning the fight, so there's no reason for you to rush. You are winning the fight. All good for us.
Clean shot, Mike. Excellent. Nice left hook. Up, up.
We're done. The job is over. We're done.
4, 3, 2, 1, and time!
Oh, great boy.
The weight room has become a second language for Tyson during this camp. Heavy iron, controlled tempo, focused intention. Each repetition is not about vanity or theater. It is about building the kind of functional power that survives into the later rounds, the kind of endurance that holds technical execution together when the body is begging to simplify. This phase of preparation reveals something essential about how seriously Tyson is approaching this fight. The conditioning work is not decorative, it is structural.
Don't fight, I give you money. You crazy?
Only 12. That's all we want. To the middle. 1, 2, 3.
A little slow on the way down.
4. There we go. 9. One more.
Slow.
10. No problem. Great set. Best set yet. Final round.
Last one. Nice and strong. 35. Let it go. 1, 2. Here we go. 3, 4. Nice. 5. Yes, sir. 6, 7.
Strong.
8. Strong. 9. Got this.
Let's go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. 8, 9. One more. Get up. Nice work, Mike. Yes, sir.
When these two men stand across from each other, the physical contrast alone will command attention before a single punch is thrown. Tyson built his career destroying men who were trained and built to absorb heavyweight punishment. Mayweather's professional ceiling was 154 pounds, and even accounting for the natural changes that come with time, he remains a significantly smaller man walking into this engagement. Yet Mayweather carries an 11-year age advantage, and in boxing, youth translates directly into recovery speed, lateral movement, and the ability to sustain output. Both men have acknowledged what the other brings. Tyson has described this matchup as something the sport itself did not anticipate, a confrontation that forces boxing to reckon with what it is willing to call a contest in the modern era.
Top weight he fought at was 154 pounds. So Floyd, and he's still a smaller guy to this day. So I think you've got some advantages on both sides here. You've got Floyd, who is 11 years younger, but is, again, possibly given up something like 60 or 70 pounds here. And there's a reason we know there are weight classes in boxing. Now, there's already some trash talk here. So let me read you what Mike Tyson told us here. So he said, "This fight is something neither the world nor I ever thought would or could happen. However, boxing has entered a new era of the unpredictable, and this fight is as unpredictable as it gets. I still can't believe Floyd wants to really do."
There's genuine surprise in the air when Mayweather confirmed his participation. The physical risks attached to facing a man of Tyson's dimensions are not theoretical, they are real, and people in the sport know it. Yet Mayweather absorbed those concerns and stepped forward anyway, anchoring his decision in the same logic that has governed his entire career. Every fight he enters is meant to leave a mark on the historical record. His professional ledger reads 50 wins and 0 defeats, and he intends for everything he does in boxing to carry that same weight of inevitability. Despite the exhibition classification, the gap in size and style ensures that no one in the audience will treat this as a casual event. Legacy, power, and precision are all on the same canvas at the same time.
Wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. I've been doing this for 30 years and there hasn't been a single fighter that can tarnish my legacy. This is Floyd now, said Floyd Mayweather. You already know that if I am going to do something, it's going to be big and it's going to be legendary. I'm the best in the business of boxing. This exhibition will give the fans what they want. Now, that's what it is. It's an exhibition, but Floyd is unblemished. He has been perfect. 50 up, 50 down. But it's been some years since Floyd last fought. Of course, he last fought professionally against Conor McGregor in 2017. He has had some exhibition fights since, but he's fought Logan Paul. He's fought some guys, a kickboxer.
Wade Plemons addressed the fight from a direction most analysts were hesitant to approach directly. The financial architecture surrounding Mayweather's participation, he argued, deserves honest examination. Reports from credible business publications have surfaced suggesting that Mayweather is carrying a substantial debt load, with figures reaching into the $54 million range alongside documented payment delinquencies. Mayweather's legal representation has pushed back against that framing, but the pattern of high-profile exhibition appearances tells its own story. Plemons expressed genuine sorrow at the possibility that a fighter of Mayweather's stature might be navigating financial instability after a career that generated hundreds of millions. No legacy, he suggested, should end at a negotiating table born from desperation.
To have added up for Floyd, and now it's pretty apparent that not only is he doing these, bank robbery style exhibitions, but it looks like he absolutely needs to do it, which is very, very sad. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Floyd Mayweather as an individual outside of the ring, but I never want to see athletes have their money mismanaged or mismanage their own money so badly that they go broke in retirement, and it looks like that's kind of what's happening. And here's a snippet from Business Insider because it made me want to pay for the entire article. Business Insider is reporting that Floyd Mayweather could be facing money trouble, citing an estimated $54 million in debt, property foreclosures, multiple lawsuits piling up. Mayweather's attorney strongly denies he's in any kind of financial distress, but the headlines aren't slowing down. $54 million alleged dollars in debt. So it makes sense why they would want to do this, and it's strictly for money. Let's be honest. This is a clear money grab, but this is going to be a terrible.
Plemons was transparent about his personal feelings toward Mayweather outside the ropes, acknowledging that admiration for the fighter does not extend fully to the man, but that personal distance did not soften his concern. What he described watching unfold is a pattern he has seen consume other athletes. Exceptional earnings followed by structural mismanagement until the only lever left to pull is the one labeled spectacle. He categorized this fight as a financial transaction dressed in athletic clothing, and as for the competitive value inside the ropes, he was direct. The most compelling moment of the evening, he suggested, may come when Tyson makes his entrance, not when the action begins.
Time didn't like. For a long time called Floyd a small little angry man or a small little scared man because he couldn't walk his kids to school by himself, mainly because Floyd had, he kind of disrespected Muhammad Ali, who was Mike Tyson's favorite fighter and one that he would never put himself above. But Mike's 60 years old, and if there was a time for Mike to get him and knock him out or whatever, it never would have happened because they were in completely different weight classes and XYZ. If you wanted to settle it outside of boxing, that's one thing, but now they're stepping into this exhibition. There's not going to be any weight classes, obviously, and there's not going to be really any winner to this, and I think we're all going to lose. I think us, the fans, are going to lose a big time because, again, I told you guys years ago that there is a certain brand of combat sports that does diminish fighters of the past, and it's the crossover scene. Listen, I'm a part of it. I've been a part of it for my entire existence.
The financial narratives, however, is only one current running beneath this event. Analysts who have followed both careers closely point to a rivalry built on years of public friction that has never been formally resolved. Tyson has been consistent and pointed in his criticism of Mayweather's character, targeting what he perceives as a manufactured persona built on arrogance and relentless self-mythologizing. Mayweather, in turn, has responded by systematically diminishing the era Tyson dominated, as though acknowledging Tyson's impact would require surrendering some portion of his own standing.
Now, they have a history of bad blood between the two. Well, more so on the part of Mike Tyson. He just simply does not like Floyd Mayweather. They went through some things. They used to be cool. They used to be friends. And Floyd Mayweather even fought on Mike Tyson's cards. But now they have a strained relationship. And now they're going to fight an exhibition bout. This was, I don't even know what to say about this, right? But why not Floyd versus Roy Jones Jr.?
That unresolved tension transforms this exhibition into something the promotional framing cannot fully contain. Analysts have noted that when two fighters enter a ring carrying genuine personal animosity rather than manufactured pre-fight theater, the dynamics inside the ropes become harder to predict and harder to manage. Both men are well past the years when their physical instruments were operating at full capacity, yet the competitive instinct does not simply expire with age. It migrates. It finds other outlets. Tyson's raw, destructive power against Mayweather's architectural defensive intelligence creates a contrast that boxing rarely produces. Add the personal history, the public narratives, and the weight of two unresolved legacies, and this event carries a gravity that a standard exhibition simply does not possess.
More compatible as far as size goes. Roy is still bigger than Floyd, but as far as that goes, he still fought that made his name at 54, 60, 68, and 75. Right? Now, he did go up to heavyweight, but they've been going back and forth. They've been jawing back and forth and going viral, going at each other. That would make more sense. I don't know where this came from and how this even came about, but we're going to get Floyd Mayweather in 2026 versus Iron Mike Tyson in the exhibition bout. Two legends, they're going to get their money. I guess Netflix is just looking to put out big money. I'm hearing that it's going to be on Netflix, right? It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds and plays out. But this came out of nowhere. It's just bizarre.
Shawn Porter approached this matchup with the kind of measured skepticism that comes from having competed at the highest level. He acknowledged that the confrontation carries a certain raw logic if imagined outside the formal structure of a boxing ring, but inside those ropes, with rounds and rules and referees, the picture becomes considerably more complex. Tyson, approaching 60, brings size and power that Mayweather has never faced in a professional context. Mayweather, at 48, still possesses the technical instincts and footwork that defined his dominance. Porter also flagged the absence of any mutual respect between these two men as a variable that could accelerate unpredictability. Past opponents shared a professional courtesy with Mayweather. Tyson does not extend that courtesy, and that changes the emotional temperature of the engagement.
For a street fight, it doesn't make sense for like a in the ring situation, and so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened, and then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
Yeah, you're not kidding, right? Obviously we watched Mike Shawn in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously, there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there, despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show.
Porter's concern deepened when the conversation turned to preparation. Tyson's previous outing against Jake Paul, Porter observed, exposed gaps in timing and conditioning that trace directly back to insufficient sparring. A fighter does not rebuild ring sharpness through pad work alone. It requires live, skilled, fast opposition, the kind that forces real-time adjustments under pressure. For a man of Tyson's age to close those gaps against an opponent with Mayweather's hand speed and movement, the preparation window would need to be substantial and uncompromising. Porter did not question Tyson's resolve. He questioned whether the body at this stage can fully answer what the resolve is asking of.
Who is the heavyweight champion in the world? I respect these two men so great a degree that it's hard for me to almost make negative statements about them. But I think that our job as talking heads is to tell you the truth, regardless of how much you admire someone or the applause and adulation you have for them. You gotta tell me.
Daniel Cormier brought a structural clarity to his analysis that cut through the promotional noise. He began with the physical reality. Mayweather launched his professional career at 130 pounds and never competed at heavyweight a single day in his life. Asking him to share a ring with a man built and trained as a heavyweight, regardless of both men's age, requires a significant suspension of conventional boxing logic. Cormier was careful to separate his assessment from any diminishment of either fighter's achievements. His respect for both men was evident and earned, but respect, he noted, does not change the weight of the evidence. What makes this event genuinely compelling is not whether the size differential can be resolved. It is everything surrounding that question: the age of both men, the personal history they carry into the building, the financial and promotional forces that shaped how this fight came to exist at all. Expect isolated moments of brilliance from both sides, flashes of what these men once were at their absolute best, but expect those flashes to be framed by caution, positioning, and the awareness that neither man can afford a careless moment at this stage of his life.
We already know, like we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable, but it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring. It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
Falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced. So,
right.
Yeah. Is it possible to break down or give some...
Cormier then raised the question that cuts beneath the surface of the entire event. Why? Tyson has constructed a second chapter outside the ring that carries its own momentum. Business ventures, financial stability, a life rebuilt with purpose. The Jake Paul fight generated significant returns. Mayweather, whatever the financial headlines suggest, has managed his brand with the precision he applied to his defense. Neither man is standing at the edge of ruin. So what is this for? Cormier sat with that question rather than rushing to answer it. Perhaps it is about one final test against someone who genuinely challenges them at an identity level. Perhaps it is about closing a chapter that neither man has been willing to leave unfinished. For the people watching, the value is not purely competitive. It is the rare and unrepeatable chance to observe two of the sport's most defining figures reveal in real time how much of what they were still lives inside them and how deliberately they choose to protect what remains.
Life on track, has a great wife that helps him manage all those things, made a boatload of money to fight Jake Paul last year. It's not a money play. Floyd, I saw a thing this morning, him talking about keeping his money clean, stuffing hundreds of thousands of dollars in a plastic bag. These guys don't need money. A lot of times when you get these great champions fighting well past their prime, it's to make cash. We see it a lot. These two don't seem to need the money. So I don't understand the need to do this. When talked about, Mike Tyson said, I still can't believe Floyd wants to really do this. It's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it. So it's signed and it's happening. Hey, when Mike fought...
That is where this story rests for now. Not at a final verdict, but at a threshold. 2 men, 2 legacies, 1 ring, and a question the sport has not yet answered. Whatever happens when that bell sounds, the moment itself will belong to history. Not because it was inevitable, but because nothing about it was supposed to exist, and yet here it is.